Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Heading Home with Zach Chopin. On today's show, we'll be talking about the life of Hall of Famer Henry Aaron, the BBWAA National Baseball Hall of Fame voting results, and more offseason trades and free agent signings. So lace up those cleats and round third for another exciting episode of Heading Home. Before we begin today's discussion, I'm going to start off with our baseball question of the day. The question is, who is the only player who exceeded 50% of the Hall of Fame vote and isn't inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame currently? Think about it. The answer will be revealed later in the show, so stick around. On January 22nd, 2021, the baseball world stopped spinning for a moment. Hall of Famer Henry Aaron had passed away. Known globally by one name, Hank, he was a god amongst men. In a quote from Muhammad Ali on Mr. Aaron, he said he was the only man I idolized more than myself. Coming from an all-time great role model in history, Ali's comment better rationalizes the impact Aaron himself had as an athlete, role model, and person in general. There are many great aspects to consider when exploring Henry Aaron's life. My favorite all-time stat of his was that he held the record for most records held by a single player. That in its own right is impressive enough. Now let's dive in and see some of the best stats from Hammer and Hank's career. For his career, you'll find a bunch of his statistics still rank within the top 10 all time, even though he retired in 1976. Here are some of those stats. His career WAR is 143.1, which ranks 7th all time. He is 3rd in career hits with 3,771, 1st all time in career RBIs with 2,297. He's tied for 4th all time in career runs scored with 2,174. He is 2nd all time in home runs, which is still controversial today, with 755. He is 1st all time in career extra base hits with 1,477, and 1st all time in career total bases with 6,856. Statistically, hardly anyone can compare to Henry Aaron. To put his career numbers into better perspective, let's compare statistics to those of present and possibly future Hall of Famers. In 19 out of Aaron's 23 major league seasons, he finished within the top 20 in MVP voting. He finished within the top 10 in 13 of those seasons, the top 5 in 8 of those seasons, and the top 3 in 7 of those seasons. It's incredible that he only won one MVP award during his career. He is the all-time leader in total bases by 12.3 miles worth of bases. In 2nd place is Stan Musial with 6,134 total bases. Aaron has more total bases than Hall of Famers Ralph Kiner and Hank Greenberg combined. Their value, 5,994 compared to Aaron's 6,856. Aaron for his career had a higher stolen base success rate than Lou Brock and Maury Wills. Lou Brock's was 75.3%, while Maury Wills was 73.8%. Hank Aaron's success rate was 77%. Aaron also hit more singles in his career than Lou Brock. Aaron hit 2,294 compared to Brock's 2,247. Aaron has more career triples than Ichiro Suzuki. Aaron had 98, Ichiro had 96. And if you take away every home run that Henry Aaron hit during his career, he still has over 3,000 hits, with 3,016. To pair along with some of his statistical accomplishments, here are some of the accolades he was awarded during and after his playing career. He has the record for most All-Star Game appearances, with 25. The reason for 25, even though he only played 23 seasons, was that he made the All-Star team both during the season and after the season from 1959 to 1962. His only MVP award came in 1957, when he also won his only World Series championship. He is a 2-time batting title winner, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, and in 1982 was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. He received 97.8% of the vote. In 2001, he was awarded the Presidential Citizens Medal from President Bill Clinton. The next year, in 2002, he received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President George W. Bush. As one of the true heroes of the game, it only makes sense that the National Baseball Hall of Fame has an entire exhibit dedicated strictly to him. He is one of 2 players, Babe Ruth being the other, who have their own exhibits in the hall. Prior to his passing, Aaron was also gracious enough to give the Hall of Fame some of his memorabilia from his playing days. His exhibit includes his 1957 MVP award, 1957 World Series ring, his 3 Gold Glove awards, his number 500 home run ball, 3,000 hit bat, 715th home run uniform, and many additional baseballs, bats, and pieces from his childhood home, and other personal items. When asked if the Hall of Fame could have a piece of hate mail he received during his career, he required that if he gave them one, he would have to give a piece of appreciative mail, because you can't have the good without the bad. That's just how Henry Aaron was. Those 2 letters are on display at the Hall of Fame today. The baseball world has lost a lot of legends within the past year, but none were more impactful to the game than Henry Aaron. He'll be greatly missed, not only in the baseball world, but to everyone in general. Next, we are going to discuss the 2021 BBWAA Hall of Fame voting results. For the first time since 2013, no players were selected by the BBWAA for Hall of Fame enshrinement. But more importantly, this is the first time since 1960 that there won't be a Hall of Fame class. Since the winter meetings were canceled this year, the Veterans Committee couldn't convene to elect any players from the Veterans Committee era ballot. Now, let's dive into some of the results. Of the 401 total voters, a player must have received 301 votes to be elected into the Hall of Fame. Leading the way with 71.1% on his 9th year on the ballot was Curt Schilling, followed by Barry Bonds at 61.8%, Roger Clemens at 61.6%, Scott Rowland with 52.9%, and Todd Helton with 44.9%. The biggest mover in this year's voting was Scott Rowland, who received 72 additional votes, which resulted in a 17.6% increase from his total from the year before. Omar Vizquel was the only player to lose votes, and he lost 12, resulting in a negative 3.5% reduction from his voting last year. Additionally, 3 first-time ballot nominees exceeded the 5% threshold to stay on the ballot for another year. Those 3 players are Mark Burley, Torrey Hunter, and Tim Hudson. One of the biggest surprises from the voting this year from the writers was that 14 blank ballots were submitted as votes. While nobody was elected to this year's Hall of Fame, just remember this statistic. The BBWAA has inducted 22 Hall of Famers from 2014 to 2020, which is the most in a 7-year span. Those players include Frank Thomas, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, Craig Biggio, Mike Piazza, Ken Griffey Jr., Ivan Rodriguez, Tim Raines, Jeff Bagwell, Jim Thome, Chipper Jones, Trevor Hoffman, Vladimir Guerrero, Mariano Rivera, Mike Mussina, Edgar Martinez, Roy Halladay, Larry Walker, and Derek Jeter. Including these 22 Hall of Famers, the BBWAA has only elected 134 players all time. After the voting was official, Curt Schilling made a statement asking to be removed from the Hall of Fame ballot next year, in which would be his last year. Quote, "I will not participate in the final year of voting. I'm requesting to be removed from the ballot. I'll defer to the Veterans Committee and men whose opinions actually matter." Later that evening, the National Baseball Hall of Fame issued a statement on Curt Schilling's letter. It reads, "As you know, the Board of Directors of the National Baseball Hall of Fame sets the rules and procedures for the BBWAA balloting process. The board has received Curt Schilling's request for removal from the 2022 ballot and will consider the request at our next meeting." The next day, Jack O'Connell, the BBWAA Secretary and Treasurer, issued a following statement, which said Schilling will remain on the ballot for 2022. Looking forward to next year, there are still a few questions that need to be answered. 1. Will Curt Schilling end up in the Hall of Fame? 2. Where can Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens find at least 54 more votes for Hall of Fame enshrinement? 3. Do Scott Rowland, Todd Helton, and Gary Sheffield continue their push towards Hall immortality? And 4. Which of the newcomers on the 2022 ballot stay on the ballot for 2023? The list of newcomers for the 2022 ballot include Carl Crawford, Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, Tim Lincecum, Justin Morneau, David Ortiz, Jonathan Papelbon, Jake Peavy, Alex Rodriguez, Jimmy Rollins, Mark Teixeira, and Joe Nathan. While there won't be a ceremony for the 2021 class of the Hall of Fame, which technically is non-existent, there will still be an induction ceremony on July 25th in Cooperstown, inducting the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees. These include Marvin Miller and Ted Simmons, who were elected via the Modern Baseball Era Committee, and Derek Jeter and Larry Walker. Also receiving recognition that weekend are the 2020 and 2021 Ford C. Frick Award winners. These are Ken Hawk Harrelson and Al Michaels. J.G. Taylor Spink Award winners Nick Cafardo and Dick Cagle will also be celebrated during this weekend. And lastly, David Montgomery, who won the Buck O'Neil Lifetime Achievement Award, will also have his time in the spotlight. While the 2021 BBWAA Hall of Fame voting didn't go as most people had hoped, there is still a lot to look forward to for the 2022 ballot. Hopefully we'll induct at least one, maybe two if we're lucky. The last topic we're going to discuss are some more offseason trades and free agent signings that have occurred since the last episode. On the free agent signing front, the Twins have re-signed Nelson Cruz. The Rays have signed Chris Archer to a deal. The Cincinnati Reds and Sean Doolittle have agreed to a deal. The Red Sox have signed Kiki Hernandez, and the Twins have signed Andrelton Simmons to play shortstop for them this year. On the trade front, the Cardinals and Rockies struck a deal sending all-star third baseman Nolan Arenado to the Cardinals in exchange for left-handed relief pitcher Austin Gomber and 4 prospects. One thing that stands out in this trade is that the Rockies will absorb $51 million of Arenado's contract that he signed in 2019. With this trade, this no doubt puts the Cardinals at the top of the abysmal NL Central as favorites to win the division. This could be the move that helps spark Nolan Arenado's career into potential Hall of Fame enshrinement years from now. Pairing up with Paul Goldschmidt in that lineup, they are going to be a formidable lineup to get through for starting pitchers. Arenado's career, as of right now, is already on a Hall of Fame trajectory. He has a 39.1 career WAR to pair along with 1,206 hits, 235 home runs, a .293 career batting average, 716 runs batted in, and an OPS plus of 120. He is also a 5-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove Award winner, in which he has won all 8 in his first 8 seasons as a professional. He is a 4-time Silver Slugger Award winner and has won 4 Platinum Gloves as the best defender in the league each year. Look for Arenado to keep putting up these numbers year in and year out for the remainder of his contract and his time with the Cardinals. And last but not least, we want to wish a happy retirement to former Red Sox second baseman Dustin Pedroia. Earlier this week, he decided to hang up his cleats for good. He has a 51.6 career WAR to go along with 1,805 hits, 140 home runs, a career .299 batting average, 725 RBIs, and a 113 OPS plus. He is an MVP, won Rookie of the Year, 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, 4-time Gold Glove Award winner, and won a Silver Slugger Award. He will be greatly missed in the game for his heart, hustle, and amazing sound bites during interviews. Enjoy retirement 1-5. Now, back to our baseball question of the day. The question was, who is the only player who exceeded 50% of the Hall of Fame vote and isn't inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame currently? The answer? First baseman / outfielder Gil Hodges, who received 60.1% of the vote in 1976 and 1981. He was also the manager of the 1969 Miracle Mets. And that will do it for this Hall of Fame episode of Heading Home with Zach Chopin. If you enjoyed this podcast and want more content, show us some love below. Be sure to check out my blog, which is found in the description. And as always, stay safe, God bless, and play ball.